how did it feel like being the only girl in a class full of boys. So sometimes it used to be awkward, but yeah, most of the time it was that I used to be in competition with them uh, in studies, in academics mainly, and it was always a 1:1 competition. It was not boy or girl, it was the student in the class. The other question you asked me was how did it affect my life in future, my studying in the Scindia School. So I must say there are two important factors to that. Firstly, the situation, the placement of the school is on the Gwalior Fort. So that used to give me a feeling of being rooted in the solid rock underneath my feet and my head high in the sky, free to do anything that I thought would be right. I was able to think the highest that I could. And another thing important was that we were brought up in a manner, in 1:1 manner, in a manner where I could look up to anybody, eye to eye. It was not a boy or a girl competition. In the world also, when I studied as a doctor, I came across people in the society, I used to face each and any person eye to eye, 1:1. Also, I was brought up in a manner to be useful to the society and to the nation. The word, the poem from Rabindranath Tagore, which used to say that where the head is held high, that has been imbibed in us, in and out, and I'm trying to live that in my life, to be useful to people, to nation, to the world.
Hi, this is Alka Mishra, near Agnihotri. Shreya called me to give my thoughts about how it felt to be the only girl in the class with all the boys. Actually, it was not that I was the only girl in the class for a whole tenure of my school stay, but for I think about 2 years in junior section and 1 year in the senior section, I was the only girl in the class. It's been so long now, more than half a century, and the memories are a bit hazy. But I can say that I was the only girl in my section in class 4 and 5. So I felt a bit lonely at starting. You know, how the boys are of that age. Allah, Dennis the Menace type. They are wary of girls, so they won't talk to me much, and I felt a bit lonely. But after some time, everything was okay and we were friendly, but not so chummy, but still it didn't feel that bad. Yes, I was the only girl, so sometimes it was quite awkward also, but it was okay. So in class 4 and class 5, I felt a bit lonely, but it was okay. While in senior section, it wasn't that bad, because most of the boys were with me for 2-3 years and they knew me, and so we were friendly, not very chummy, but it was okay. And they would talk to me and we would crack jokes also, but it was okay. But the best thing I learned from that was that how to deal with boys when you are alone in a class full of boys, how to deal with them. it was okay. So the next thing Shreya asked me to tell that how the school helped me and how it prepared me for my future life. So I would say it laid the foundation for the future life. It taught me so many things, discipline and teamwork and honesty, so many things. And the best thing was how to deal with different type of people and what to do in adverse conditions. So actually it laid the foundation, and I can thank the school and the teachers for helping me that way. Thank you.
Hello everyone, Kaumudi Aga here, batch of 1976. It's great to connect on the common room. I'm one of those privileged people who were born and brought up on the fort of Gwalior. My father, Mr. P.M. Khar, taught at the Scindia School for 37 precious years, and my mother, Mrs. Kamal Khar, also taught there for many years. Hence, being their daughter brought me this unique opportunity to study at this esteemed institution, which is exclusively meant for boys otherwise. So at a time, every year, we would just be about 15 to 20 girls in the entire school. But in spite of being so hugely outnumbered, we never felt intimidated. The boys were usually very decent and friendly and even protective. The environment there was generally conservative, and intermingling was not approved. In fact, there was segregation when we sat down in the classrooms and in the assembly hall, etc., wherever possible. One thing that we sorely missed out on was sports. There was no formal provision for girls' participation in any sports activity. So, obviously, because it was a boys' school, but we participated wholeheartedly in all other events wherever we got the chance, like the orchestra, the drama, dance, elocutions, the annual exhibition. So, the well-deserving girls were made school prefects also. We had a girls' squad also, which was trained by our PT instructor, and we proudly led the house squads in the march past on Republic Day and Independence Day. That was fun. Definitely we received a lot of attention, and heartaches and heartbreaks and crushes. These were all part of our growing up years, just like any other teenager anywhere else. So honestly, while I was still there studying in the school, it never struck me that I had some kind of a different status than girls growing up anywhere else. Later on, I realized that okay, we were at times envied by other girls because of growing up surrounded by so many boys. I just count myself as very fortunate for this remarkable childhood and schooling that I have enjoyed thanks to my parents. The credit for all that I have achieved in life goes to my Scindian education and experiences. Truly, thank you.
Myself, Seema Sharma, 77 pass out from the Scindia School. On Women's Day, I would like to say that I am more ready for the world after studying in the Scindia School, that is the all-boys school, and I never felt any hesitation of any kind. I had a typical confidence in myself, and I was all ready to face the male members of the society, and there was no hitch, no hesitation at any twist or turn of my life. Whereas I had friends from the hostel who sometimes felt, how am I going to go out all alone? How will be the situation? Will I be able to handle the men around? I never had this, and I could feel, maybe because I was the only girl in my class that time, and I could feel that there was no harm. I mean, they are all harmless, so that kind of confidence I always had. So on this Women's Day, I would like to say to everybody that you should realize your own confidence, conquer all the fears, and do not be afraid of anybody. And if you are confident, I think nothing can scare you. So that's what I learned in Scindia School. The kind of environment I was raised there really prepared me for the future. Thank you and namaskar.
Good morning, and wish all the wonderful women out there a very happy International Women's Day, which is celebrated on 8th of March. I would like to share my experiences in Scindia School. Initially, when I joined the school, I was the only girl in a class full of boys, and I was intimidated. But after I got to know my classmates, the gender actually did not make any difference, because we had excellent teachers who imparted us education on an equal basis. The learning, the teaching, the education was the same for all of us. There was no discrimination at all. And apart from education, we had music classes, we had art classes, and we had hobby classes, in which I had opted for carpentry, and we were all given the same training, the same education, the same teaching. So I never felt any discrimination, or anywhere I felt that being a girl I was at disadvantage, or being boys they were at an advantageous position, because we were all treated in a same manner. So that is one very good thing, because that is what I feel has shaped me, my personality into what I am today, which has groomed me to treat my students, because I am a teacher, to treat my students in an equal footing. I treat all of them equally. I see them all equally without any bias, because that is what the foundation which I got in my school days. So thanks to Scindia School for giving such a wonderful grooming to me. Then on Fort, all of us were like one big family. The whole fraternity was like one big family. We had a very secured and a very caring environment. We celebrated all the festivals, like for example Holi, I remember we celebrated together, and all the national festivals, all the important events like Independence Day, Republic Day, Gandhi Jayanti, all these national days were celebrated together, and in a way it made us aware at a very young age about our national heroes, about freedom fighters, which maybe the children of nowadays today they lack. They don't know so much, so we could respect and we could revere them. So that was something which I learned from my school. And we had excellent teachers. Like I can give example of Mrs. Pratap. She used to teach us English. So before coming to Scindia School, we were dictated the questions and the answers by the teacher themselves. Okay. So when I came under Mrs. Pratap, she gave us the questions and told us to get the answers, write the answers on your own. Initially, I was really stuck and I didn't know what to do. I approached my father, who also was an English teacher. So I approached him and asked him to tell me the answer. But he also gave me the same answer. Read the chapter, you will find all your answers in the chapter itself. So I did, initially with lots of trials and errors. I did, tried, struggled and could do it. And which again paved a very good language, understanding of the language, and very good language which I could have a very strong hold of. So these are the few things which I feel I learned from Scindia School and has really helped me as a person in life now and also as a woman, I should say. Thank you very much, and once again, a very happy International Women's Day to all the wonderful women out there. Thank you. Bye.
I never thought that I would pull off these 7 years at Scindia so well. It was indeed a very enriching and an adventurous journey for me. Yeah, it was full of ups and downs, but I believe the magnitude of the ups in my journey at Scindia was much more, and they have just outnumbered the downs in my journey. Initially, when I joined in grade 6 in 2014, it was very difficult for me to adapt because I came from a co-educational background. I was used to having girl besties and all that stuff. But initially, I realized that boys can be good friends too, and that's a very important lesson that I learned from my journey at Scindia. Talking about my academics, I was supported by my teachers at every point in life. I could just call and just ping them up at any odd hour, and they were there to support me 24/7. And other than academics, I developed a lot of other life skills, the soft skills, such as communication. I went into debating, I spoke elocutions, and that was a turning point, in my personality. I was a part of the shooting set, and shooting, became an integral part of my life. Also, talking about adventures, I participated, I was a part of mountaineering as well as cycling expeditions. So that helped me, just bring on that, different adventures in life. And probably that was one of the best part in being in a boarding school. And I wouldn't have been exposed to all that if I was in a day school, studying as a day scholar and being only surrounded by books. So yes, Scindia has played a very, very big part in, making me who I am today. And I'm always going to be grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.